I have been a therapist for about 10 years, almost 10 years. Mm-hmm. This was a late life career.
It was?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How old were you when you started it?
50.
You were 50?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, my mom...
But we won't talk about that on here.
Oh, Sheilah's 29?
Yeah, right.
What we going with? Phil Phails for you. No, that's an amazing thing to model for folks, I think.
Yeah.
That you're never too old to... That adage, right? You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Oh, right.
It's not true.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, being a therapist, more mature therapist is an advantage.
I would imagine.
You have more life experience. Most people want a therapist who is at least their age, if not older.
Yeah, probably older.
Yeah. There's not a lot of ageism in this business, fortunately.
Yeah. Dang. My mom was in her mid-40s, I think, when she got an electrical engineering degree and then went and worked at NASA.
Wow, that's impressive.
And became a pilot. She's phenomenal. It sounds like you're very that same cut from the same cloth of let's keep learning, let's keep growing, let's keep.
I think it was I have ADHD and
you do?
Yeah, unmedicated, and I have lots of compensatory behaviors, and it's much less than it used to be.
Did you say unmedicated?
Yeah,
unmedicated.
Right. So yeah, not medicated.
Me too.
And it really isn't a big part of my life right now, except that I'll leave behind water bottles or umbrellas, or it's a little bit of forgetfulness there, but. Yeah. And, desire to move a lot and have a lot of variety in my life. But I've organized my life in such a way that it works.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
What'd you do before the psychotherapy?
Well, I did a number of different things. I like variety, but for about 9 years, I think, I taught Italian at UT as a lecturer while I was raising my kids.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Teaching Italian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You do it with is it mostly the hands? Yeah. That's right. That's not good.
No.
I don't know any cuss words, but I've watched mobster movies.
Yeah. Okay. All righty.
So you taught Italian while you're raising your kiddos, and how many kiddos do you have?
I have 3 kids.
3 kiddos.
Yeah.
Boys, girls.
My oldest is a girl. She's 30, lives in Austin, married, and has a baby.
Wow.
And then my son is 28, lives in North Carolina. And my youngest is almost 25 and lives in Boston.
Everybody's out of the nest.
Yep.
Wow. And before Italian?
Let's see. Well, in between Italian and doing this, I worked on and off for a few years in Austin Montessori School's adolescent community, which is a small kind of farm-based school of 7th, 8th, and 9th graders, pretty non-traditional. And I wore a variety of hats there. My kids had gone to Austin Montessori School for their elementary. And that was kind of a cool experience. I took some time off and did some writing. And then I went back to graduate school to become a therapist. I had kind of an epiphany. That's what I was going to do.
Yeah. You wanted to help people?
Yeah, I've always wanted to do things that help people. But I'm one of those people who was always reading, psychology or self-help books. I had a subscription to Psychology Today since forever. And I had considered it years before and then kind of forgot about it. And then a friend had told me about a career counselor. And I thought, well, I really need to figure out what I'm going to do next in my life. I was one of those people who felt like I was on an ongoing existential crisis. And I went into, and I got this special deal. If you paid ahead of time for 5 sessions with this therapist/career counselor, it was a cheaper rate. So I went ahead and paid for the 5. And at my first session, we were just chatting, and I just blurted out, I wish I would have become a therapist a long time ago. And she said, well, why don't you now? And I literally opened my mouth to tell her all the reasons why it wasn't possible when I realized they no longer applied. My kids were older. I didn't, my position at UT, I wasn't there anymore. I didn't have to worry about losing it. And within a few months, I was back in the classroom, starting my graduate program.
Wow.
It was just instantaneous. I didn't even go back for even though I paid for those other
You didn't
sessions.
go to the other sessions.
I just knew.
You only needed one.
I just knew it. It was like, it was a light bulb moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those forgotten truths, we call them. Things that you know about yourself and maybe at some point you wanted, but you kind of let go of or forgot. And I just realized that was the work for me.
Man. It's hard to know which one to hold on to because I don't know which forgotten truth. When you said that, I thought when I was a kid, I really wanted to be a rock star.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, then you
wanted
look
to
at
play
what
music
was it about being a rock star that was so appealing? Was it getting a lot of women? Was it wearing cool clothes? Was it making music? Was it being creative? Was it traveling? Right? Then you look, that's a great thing when you're trying to figure out your career. Instead of what was the title, it's
Boil it
what
down
was it
to
about that life?
the behaviors
And then you pinpoint them, and then you can be creative. And then there's lots of things potentially where you might get to travel, or where you get to be creative, or where you are around a lot of women, or whatever it is that you're
excited by.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's really cool to think about. Yeah, let's dissect this title into its components,
Yeah.
and then say, how can I find that in creative ways?
Yeah, we can call that looking for the underlying want or need, right?
Yeah.